I started some 30 years ago as a wine importer, and by the end of 1999 I decided I wanted to make wine. After all, Turkey is world's fifth largest grape grower. We have the right soils, we have the right climates, and plus we are blessed with lots of indigenous varieties. Officially we have over 1,400 indigenous varieties, and many of them are suitable to winemaking. So I brought in an Italian consultant in January 2000, and we decided what we wanted to do, how to do, etc. And actually this is sort of like where we started. This was our first vineyard that we planted back in March of 2002. Those days it was a dilemma for me, I wanted to focus on indigenous varieties of Turkey, but I knew the Turkish consumers would be judging us with the Bordeaux blends that we'll make. So this vineyard we planted international varieties, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot. But once we started to have a cash flow, we started to focus on indigenous varieties. Over the years, we have grown to a size where we are over 200,000 bottles a year now, and most of the wines that we make are made from indigenous varieties. Some of them are probably you never heard of in your markets, but some we are exporting to US and many European markets, to Far East as well, to some dozen plus markets. Wine has always been made in the Ottoman Empire, but really production, let's say, took off with the Turkish Republic after it became a republic in 1923, but mostly in the 1930s, when the founder of the republic brought in some French consultants, and they introduced new techniques of what grapes to plant, what to grow, how to vinify, etc. So yeah, it started, let's say, in the 1930s. There are many indigenous varieties in Turkey that are used for winemaking, but the most well-known ones are Öküz Gözü, Boğaz Kere, and Kalecik Karası. I'm talking about the reds. Kalecik Karası is a thin-skinned variety that can remind you of, let's say, a Pinot Noir. Boğaz Kere is quite tannic, full-bodied. Öküz Gözü, lots of red fruit, medium body. These are well known. Many producers make wines from those. We don't. We like to focus on lesser known varieties. Varieties such as Karasakız, a thin-skinned variety. Çal Karası, another thin-skinned variety that grows at high altitudes, 1,000 meters above sea level, but quite early ripening. Another variety we focus on is Sıdalan, another is Yapıncak, and Çakal and Kolorko. Kolorko and Çakal varieties are almost extinct, and so we have been sourcing the few growers left and getting cuttings from them, replanting in our vineyards to preserve the varieties for future generations. Our philosophy is we like to go to where the variety originates from. Instead of planting everything in one location, we like to travel to the homeland of each variety. They might be maybe 2 hours away from one another, might be more difficult to manage, but we think it's important to go to the homeland. And when we do that, what we find is many times the vineyards that we are able to find have old wines. And these are unique treasures that we think should be preserved. So we have vineyards that are as old as 80 years old and as young as 35 years old. So these are old wines. But one by one, every vineyard, we are switching to organic practices. And with the wines that we make, we like to focus on making single vineyard fruit, single vineyard wines, to really express the variety and the terroir it comes from. And we like to work with varieties that might not be known even to Turkish consumers, but we think they have potential for the export market. We like to work with native yeast, for example, and we like maybe when in the old days we were using more oak, but less and less we're using less oak, or the oak that we use is now older oaks, the third passage, etc., so that we are really able to show the fruit. Turkey is part of what's called the ancient world, in the wine world. Wine has been made in Turkey, in these lands, for the last 7,000, 8,000 years. But of course, during the times of the Ottoman Empire, and Islamic Empire, even those days, wine has always been made, mostly made by the Christian minorities in the country. In Turkey, this tradition lives on with the republic, which is a secular republic. So state and religion are separate, and there are many Turkish winemakers and there are many Turkish consumers. Of course, consumption per capita is small. The Turkish people, I would say 2/3 of them don't drink. But number one reason why they don't drink is not religion, is because economically they cannot afford it. Wine is not cheap. We have high taxation on wines. 1/3 surely don't drink because they are conservative and they think it's not right to drink. But then there are many Turks who like to drink and enjoy good wine. And don't forget, this is it's a beautiful country that attracts a lot of tourists. We get more than 35 million tourists a year, and surely the tourists want to drink, and Turkish wine is good, and they're always curious. And plus we can offer so many different indigenous varieties that are so unique that it appeals to the consumers. And also, although there are restrictions in Turkey in our industry by the government, despite that, consumers do enjoy, those that consume do enjoy wine, and every day they learn more and they discover more, and we see a positive trend in the country.